All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, a strict curl story. A brand new American record in the strict curl has just been set today by Leroy the Machine Walker. Now, if you follow Leroy on Instagram or YouTube, you guys probably know by now that he's been training for the strict curl for a very long time. He's coming for the world record, but step by step, baby steps. He just took the American record with a strict curl of 226 pounds, or about 102 kgs. We know that he's training for the world record. That's what he wants, but it's just nice to have a little bit of American representation in the strict curl because, honestly, a lot of the Eastern European guys, those are mostly the guys that are the top-tier strict curlers. You think about the German world record, which is held by Leonidas Arcona. Eastern European, you've got the Russian Federation, WRPF. That's where the world record was set by Denis Saplinkov back in 2016 when he set the 113 kg or 249 pound strict curl all-time world record. So a lot of these strict curl federations aren't even in America. So a lot of it, you don't really see a lot of Americans doing very well in strict curl. You had C.T. Fletcher way back when he set that initial record. So it's nice to see a guy like Leroy setting this record, and maybe we'll have an American in the conversation when we do one day have this World Strict Curl Championships meet that's supposed to happen sometime soon. So very cool stuff from Leroy Walker. So give this video a thumbs up for Leroy. Give it a thumbs up because we finally got a really good strict curl story. A brand new strict curl record has just been set. An American record. Very cool stuff. Now, next up in the news, let's talk about James Hollingshead and the recent physique update / post that he captioned this physique update. So he posted a training video, Delt Day. But the caption is what interested me on that. The caption says, Delt Day, I want to be Mr. Olympia at least once. Real talk. # battle for the Olympia. So I'm curious to get your guys' take on this because honestly, I don't think it's out of the question for James to one day even win the Olympia. Now, he is already qualified for the 2021 Mr. Olympia, so he only has to focus on that. He doesn't have to compete in anything else prior to that. The Olympia is really his sole focus, so he kind of gets that nice advantage that some of the top Olympia guys get because they're already qualified, to just focus on the Olympia, not have to be distracted by anything else, and to only have to peak for that one show, which gives you a little bit of a competitive edge. So I got to say, I wanted to talk about James in this video. Number one, for the caption, but number two, the actual physique that we're seeing from James. When you look at this training video, you look at this Delt Day, what stands out to you? When I look at James, I see grainy, I see vascular, and when I saw James on stage last, I saw really good conditioning. And I've said this multiple times. Really big bodybuilder, mass monster, ton of size, but he brings conditioning with that size. And even at this point in his prep, what are we now, 17 weeks away or something like that from the Olympia? This far out from the Olympia, James is already looking grainy like this, vascular like this, conditioned like this. And of course, he looks big too. I mean, go over to this physique update where he posted the most muscular and the side tricep. Of course, he also looks big. But this is what I like about James, and this is why I think he's going to be competitive at the Olympia. Really big guy, mass monster, but he brings the conditioning, and he's already looking like he's in really good shape at this point in his prep for the Olympia. Again, he's not competing before the Olympia. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to qualify. He's already on the list. So at this far out from the Olympia, this is already how he's looking. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you think it's possible for James to one day win the Olympia? Yes or no? And where do you think James will place at this year's Mr. Olympia? I've got kind of a wild card theory that he's going to be top 6 at the Olympia this year. Now, next up in the news, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Joseph Bania, posted another physique update. And I thought it was interesting just because of the fact that he's hitting a vacuum pose, very classic pose. We know that he wants to compete in classic physique someday. That's what he's prepping for. But I thought it was interesting that he put the caption on this post, feeling like Frank, not feeling like Arnold. And, of course, he's referring to Frank Zane in this post, kind of the trademark vacuum pose guy from the 70s. So I thought that was cool that Arnold's son was paying homage to Frank Zane in this post. And hopefully we do get to see Joseph on stage someday soon competing in classic physique. Again, he is natural, so of course he's going to look a little bit different than his dad looked when his dad competed. But I am excited to see how he looks on stage, kind of the natural version of Arnold's genetics in a competitive setting. I think that'd be cool. But I wanted to use this as my transition to talk about classic physique a little bit. A classic physique guy that I'm a huge fan of, Chen Kang, better known as BranchChen 2015 on Instagram. The Chinese classic physique IFBB pro that placed 5th. He was top 5 at the 2019 Mr. Olympia in classic physique, but we have not really seen him compete since then. But this past weekend, he did a guest posing at the Mr. Olympia amateur competition over in China. And this guest posing caught my eye for a number of reasons. Number one, I wanted to show you guys how good Branch looks, or I should say Chen. Branch is his nickname. How classic his physique really is. And some of the things that I like about his physique is he's got kind of freaky body parts while maintaining that small waist and V-taper. He's got really, really big legs. Specifically, his quads are huge. And typically, when you see a guy with big legs like this, they'll sacrifice a little bit of their midsection or their core because of the style of training that it takes to get leg development like that. So the thing that I like about Branch, or Chen, whatever you want to call him, is he's got these crazy legs, but he's got a crazy small waist as well. He can hit a vacuum pose, that he's got a pretty good upper body. He's got crazy arms. And these are the things that brought him to the top 5 at the Mr. Olympia. And again, we haven't seen him back on the Olympia stage since, but also in these videos and pictures at this guest posing, he looks like he's in relatively good shape. He looks like he's got relatively good size. So could he be competing sometime soon to earn the qualification for the Olympia? And that's why he looks so good. He's not currently qualified, so he would have to compete prior to the Olympia to qualify. But this is a guy that I want to see back on the Olympia stage. Maybe he took some time off to put on size and make some improvements and try to improve upon that 5th place placing and maybe crack his way into the conversation for top 3. I remember back in 2019, a lot of people felt he was robbed taking 5th place. A lot of people felt he should have been higher back then. So 2 years of improvements makes me wonder where he's at right now, how he's looking right now, and how he would place in this year's classic physique lineup. Champ Chris Bumstead was even commenting on those posts of Chen Kang. So speaking of Chris Bumstead, he also posted some training videos doing some hard and heavy, intense back workouts. His back, which previously was a point of weakness, a lot of people thought, in prior Olympias. And then in 2020, he came back, and his back became one of his strong points. So he made significant improvements to his back. He was the improvement king in 2019. He is now your 2-time reigning, defending classic physique Mr. Olympia. So I've got a couple of questions for you guys. The record right now is 2 titles in classic physique. It's only been around since 2016. Breon won 2, Chris won 2. So my first question for you guys is, will Chris win the classic physique Olympia again this year and become a 3-time champ? And then the second question is, if he does, how many Olympia titles do you think he can go on to win and become the record holder of 3+? Because right now, him and Breon are tied. So here's my theory. I'll give you guys my opinion. I think he will win this year, and I think he will go on to win at least 4 total classic physique titles before his reign is over. So that is my Chris Bumstead prediction. Now, the final story that I have for you guys today, Larry Wheels accepted Eddie Hall's challenge. So Larry Wheels made it very publicly known that he is Team Thor in the Eddie versus Thor boxing match. And he said he wants Thor to knock Eddie's head off, and he made it kind of clear that he is very one-sided on this thing. And Eddie commented on a post that Larry put up, and he said, "Very sportsmanlike, Larry. Guess you and Thor clearly have the same attributes. Do you fancy a $10,000 bet on who wins?" And to this bet, Larry responded and accepted about a day later that he's got $10,000 on Thor. Which brings me to the final question of the video. Who do you guys got? Are you Team Eddie? Are you Team Thor? And would you be willing to bet $10,000 on the side that you're taking in this fight? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let's try to get to 10,000 likes. As always, that's the goal. It helps with the algorithm, so smash that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is hit like. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.